You ready, guys?
Oh, yeah.
It's GTN Run Week!
Yes, over this next week, we're going to be donning our running shoes and heading out and about to bring you a great range of running-specific videos.
Yeah, we've got loads of top tips coming your way. We also have 2 very big presenter challenges, and I'll be running you through how to use Zwift Run.
And not to forget that we'll also be helping you with your running technique and also bringing you some sessions that are sure to make sure you're working pretty hard.
So today, we're going to be whetting your appetite of what's to come this week, as well as reflecting back on some of our favourite running videos.
Now guys, I don't know if you're the same, but there's something I love about running training other than just becoming a better runner.
What is that then, Mark?
You get to eat loads.
Go on, what do you mean? Explain.
Well, have you ever thought about it? I mean, take your non-running friends. We just seem to put it away. We eat way more than them. I mean, take a normal serving size. That barely touches the size for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're like me and you love food that much, it's got to be a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And I have been wondering what that food and how much food we eat, how that equates to fueling the training we do, calorie for calorie.
I see where you're going with this one, but I'm not going to divulge too much quite yet, but we do have a video coming later this week where we each burn 1,000 calories as quickly as we can.
And I'm still recovering, Fraser. He's gonna struggle.
Not short intervals is actually a good idea.
Can't wait to start taking some layers off.
I will go hard until those 1,000 calories are burnt.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I really can't wait to see that video. But for now, I thought we'd take a little look back at some of our favourite running videos that we've already made.
Yeah, and before we go any further, how about we take a look at some running skills?
Yeah, it's a good point. Now, running faster and harder and just hoping that you're going to get better is kind of a recipe for disaster. Well, it's definitely not a recipe for the improvement that we're hoping for, is it? Because there is actually some skill to running.
Well, to highlight those skills and help you develop your running technique, we've got this video here, the 5 essential running skills to master.
Naturally, you'll find that you'll breathe around your stride pattern, and this is likely to change depending on how hard you're running. It's worth concentrating on this and seeing when you inhale and exhale and work out if it's always on the same side. A very simple exercise that also doubles up as a warm-up for a gym session is skipping. Keep it fast and light, and if you're an advanced skipper, then you can start to alternate legs to give even more of a running feel. There are a couple of other drills that I find actually really help me working on my contact time, and they're best done on a track or asphalt so you can really focus on your technique.
Well, that's gone down really well with you guys. I think it just proves that actually running does involve quite a bit of skill.
Yeah, and once you have mastered some of those tips, or perhaps just intrigued, you can check out some of our top tips from one of the fastest runners within the sport, and that is Emma Pallant. Now, she kindly took some time out from her very busy training schedule to share some of these tips.
Well, we've come down to the coast on the edge of San Jordi, Mallorca to catch up with ex-international runner turned pro triathlete Emma Pallant.
Do I want to take 2 weeks off injured or knock 5 minutes off my run to fire up the right muscles beforehand and stretch off the right muscles afterwards? And yeah, you've got to, if something has to give, like gym work should be the last thing that drops, and it is boring. Like, take a mate along, put some good tunes on, like whatever makes it more interesting for you, but yeah, do it, feel it, and vary it. So my final tip would be have a variety. You do your easy really easy and your hard really hard, then you'll see progressions. It's very much like a race. You can't get the best out of your race if you don't learn to taper and be fresh for it, because you'll never be able to get to that deep dark place if you've got a little bit of fatigue in you.
Cool. I really wish I could run like Emma Pallant.
God, I think we all do, really.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to watch, and actually some really good tips from her there. Particularly, I like the fact, well, she was really driving home the need to run easy on those easy runs to get the most from your training.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we all would love to run as fast as Emma, as you mentioned, being at the other end of the spectrum can be pretty daunting if you're new to running. Knowing where to start and then, more importantly, how to progress can be quite difficult. So we've actually made a video on how to start running, which will take you from couch to 5K in 8 weeks.
There are a few key points to think about whilst running. Use your arms, they're there to help with propulsion whilst balancing out the movement of running. And if you are used to power walking, then you'll already be familiar with this type of movement. The next point is your body position. As you move from walking into jogging, you'll naturally find that you'll tilt forwards. But I want you to try and imagine that you've got a straight line from your ankles to your head, and that's just slightly on a forwards tilt, but keeping your hips nice and in line with that. And then finally, this one is easier said than done, but try and relax. So drop your shoulders, let your arms swing naturally, and most importantly, remember to breathe.
Right, now that was particularly interesting for the new beginner runner, but if you're already competent in running 5K, 10K, or perhaps further up the distance to the half and full marathon distances, and maybe you've got a goal target time in mind, well, we've done a series of videos about those, and you can find the link to them in the description below. But for now, here's a little teaser.
How to run a sub 20-minute 5K.
Well, in this video, we're going to be guiding you through how to plan and prepare to be able to run 42.2 kilometers in less than 4 hours.
We're going to give you the training tools and tips that will make you run a fast 10K.
Well, those are great if you've got a target time in mind and a PB that you're chasing. But what about if you just want to run for the fun of running and for training, and maybe even mix it up with a little bit of off-road?
Yeah, well, actually changing the terrain that you run on and the way that you train is a great way of giving yourself mental and physical variety during your running and your training. But which is better, running on-road or off-road? Yeah, I mean, the debate is a tough one, and very similar to running indoors or outdoors. But fortunately, we have covered both those topics in a lot of detail. So why not head over and watch those videos and decide for yourself.
Today, we thought we'd try and settle an argument. Which is better, road
Or off-road. Right then, running off-road, the types of surfaces can change quite dramatically. And in this video, I'm including any terrain that isn't smooth asphalt or tartan.
But it is worth being aware that some roads will have a camber to help with water runoff. And if you're doing long runs or long miles on a slight angle, then you might start to feel it a little bit in your body, and just worth being careful to make sure you don't get injured.
Breathe in that fresh air and feel the benefit. I mean, there is nothing worse than doing some hard intervals, trying to get your breath back, and just inhaling all those fumes, bad fumes from rush hour traffic.
Now those were both good options, but what about mixing it up and running on the treadmill? Now we're aware some of you might be limited with the terrain that you've got as a choice, or even the weather, so that might keep you indoors a little bit more. And if that's the case, what about some inspiration and trying out Mark's treadmill run?
So today I'm going to be taking you through one of my favourite running workouts, which really focuses on that top end speed and your leg turnover. So let's get started. Although this is a session I used to personally enjoy doing, it was actually Tim Don that first introduced it to me. I saw him in the gym, jumping on and off the treadmill one day, and asked him what it was all about. Now, despite it being a good run session itself, it shouldn't be an absolute killer. One of the main focus points is for it to help increase your running cadence, but also increase your running economy. Now, what I mean by this is that you're more efficient and use less energy at the same speeds.
Well, thanks for that one, Mark. I know that's a great workout that I think I'm going to have a go at. But if you're like me and you still find running on a treadmill quite mentally tough and you need a little bit more help or inspiration, then you're in luck, because we've got a video coming up with Zwift running. We're going to be taking you through how to set it up, how to get going for a completely brand new indoor running experience.
Yeah, but before we do move on to that, if you like running tech, then you are in luck, because we have just released a video on running with power.
Running with power is the newest way for runners and triathletes to be able to measure their workloads and analyse their efforts.
Now, a power meter will tell you how much power you're putting out per foot stride and propulsion, and therefore how economical you are whilst you're running. Now, this can be really interesting as you start to play around with your cadence, your stride length, your technique, your form, your speed, and so on. And you'll be able to see your power throughout all of this and how it differs for each of these changes. And ultimately, we're looking to put out more power for less effort, and therefore more economical running.
Well, guys, I don't know about you, but I am buzzing to go for a run now.
I am, but I want a little bit more running inspiration. I reckon it's time for our editor to get back to work and give us some more running inspiration.
Oh yeah! Yes. I can't wait to get running now.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're as excited as those guys are, then hit the thumb up button to like this video and do subscribe so you can see all the videos that are coming up.
Yeah, and if you'd like to see that running with power video, then just click down here.
And if you're not sure whether off-road or road running is better, well, you can decide by watching this video just here.